What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTP Sports, and thank the Lord. Thank the Lord this day is finally over. A doubleheader during the week. I don't like doubleheaders during the week. It's not enjoyable, in my honest opinion. Especially Game 2. Game 2 is not enjoyable at all. You get the win in Game 1, and you drop the biggest goose egg in Game 2. Almost get no hit, too. One hit, Game 2, looked completely lifeless, and definitely was not a fan of that. But overall, I am not a fan of doubleheaders during the week. If this was a weekend, if this was like a Saturday or Sunday, I would not mind, chilling, watching a game the entire day. But still, it's probably also the fact that it's not more enjoyable because the fact this Phillies team is still very frustrating to watch. Game 1, offense showed up, really helped out Zack Wheeler for some god reason. In the first 2 innings of the ball game in Game 1, he looked like classic Zack Wheeler. He was dominating. He looked really good, really nasty. And then all of a sudden, 3rd inning comes along, dude hits a wall. Hits a complete wall. Now, I did read that he was feeling back tightness in that 3rd inning, so could that be something that, correlated to what happened in that 3rd inning? Probably. I have no idea. But, Phillies go up 5-0 in this game, and you're just thinking to yourself that, 5-0, okay, Zack Wheeler's not going to do whatever Nola did and blow a 5-0 lead, right? Right? And he allows 4 runs. 4 runs there. Thankfully, that was all that Chicago scored, and you finished off that game winning it 7-4. Josh Harrison went off in that game and hit a huge home run to give yourself a little bit more cushion for that ball game, and the bullpen did their job too. Soto was dominant. Craig Kimbrell actually pitched a clean inning. I was very shocked to see that. Sir Anthony Dominguez, his best outing so far of the season. It was very quick. He just looked dialed in. And then Jose Alvarado came out for the bottom of the 9th and got the job done there. So your bullpen did the job. Go into Game 2. Overall, there's really not much to talk about. Offense was quiet the entire time. Bailey Falter, he struggled in the 1st inning. He allowed the 3-run home run, which eventually was the only runs of the ball game. But still, he settled down, and honestly, this was probably his best outing of the season. And he goes 7 innings for you. If I'm looking at, the entire picture of Bailey Falter, him going 7 innings, he's a 5th starter type of guy, when the rotation is fully fleshed out. He's a 5th starter type of guy, 5th, 6th starter type of guy, and if he goes 7 innings and gives you 3 runs, I cannot complain about what Bailey Falter did. Yes, he did throw a meatball there to the White Sox for that 3-run bomb. I'm not going to deny that. Yes, the 1st inning was very shaky, but basically besides that, he was, just really good. Really good besides that. So I'm really not going to complain about Bailey Falter. Your offense was just piss poor against Lucas Giolito. Granted, yes, he was nasty, but you just kind of looked like you didn't want to be there for the 2nd game. Honestly, it did. And it just kind of feels like with the Phillies, you just don't know what you're getting night in and night out. The past 2, before the 2nd game of this doubleheader, they go crazy in that 1st inning. They score a few runs. Then they add on to that lead as well. They did the same thing, to Cincinnati in the Sunday game. It just feels like when they're going to take a step in the right direction, they kind of take another step backwards. And that kind of feels like what Game 2 was. Now, is that just, playing a game, directly back-to-back, 30 minutes right after Game 1? Could that be a correlation? But you still shouldn't be getting, close to being no hit. That's just the thing. Your first hit comes in the 8th inning off of a Brandon Marsh double. Speaking of Brandon Marsh, he had a rough day at the plate today. He had a bunt single in Game 1, then struck out 6 times in a row between Games 1 and 2, and then he finally ended that streak with a double off a left-hander. So, yeah. But sadly, Bryson Stott's hitting streak comes to an end. He did set the Phillies record for a hitting streak to start the year in Game 1 with a leadoff single there. But Alec Boehm's double-digit hitting streak also came to an end in Game 2. I believe it was at 10 games. So that definitely sucks to see from that standpoint. Overall, Game 2, like I said, I'm just not happy with it. Even though I'm not really showcasing that frustration. Even though I do think deep down in my mind, when I look at doubleheaders like as face value, I don't, expect teams to sweep a doubleheader just because, regardless of the team that you're playing against, it is very hard to sweep a doubleheader. The one thing I just don't like about Game 2 is just how lifeless they looked. That's just my honest opinion. How lifeless the offense looked. Looked like they just didn't want to be in the batter's box. Quick inning after quick inning after quick inning, just looking lost there. That's the major thing that bothered me. That's what really bothered me in Game 2. Zack Wheeler, though, I don't know if it was the back tightness that he said he was feeling, but it's at the point where you're like, come on, man. It's your fourth start. It's your fourth start. Like, what happened after the first 2 innings of this ball game where you were looking dominant? What happened? Where you just hit a complete wall. Him and Aaron Nola. It's getting old at this point. It really is. I don't care. Like I said, I don't care what happened during spring training now at this point. I don't care, saying it's too early. You're 4 starts into your season. 4 starts under your belt. You eventually are going to have to start going 6, 7 innings consistently when Bailey Falter is the first guy out of your pitching staff to go 7 innings in a ball game. You know your other guys are struggling. That's just the bottom line. Now, do I think Aaron Nola and Zack Wheeler are going to be this, putrid as the season goes along? Probably not, but it's still causing for concern with those guys. Like, at this point, when you're talking about, the short off season, those guys pitching a ton of innings over the last couple of years, especially going with the World Series run, how much those two really carry the load of the starting rotation. Like, yeah, granted, I was expecting a little bit of drop-off, but not to this extent. Not to the extent where these guys don't even look prepared to start the year, where they're literally going through their spring training in their first few starts. Now, if you're talking about, okay, you didn't properly prepare in spring training, maybe your first or second start, that's where you're trying to ramp yourself up to get prepared as the season goes along. We're talking about your 4th start here, man. We're talking about your 4th start. Neither you or Aaron Nola have gone 7 innings yet. Neither of them. Zack Wheeler out of the 2 is the only one that goes 6. Only one. And I believe he only went 5 innings in Game 1 against Chicago. Yeah, he only went 5 innings. 5 innings, 8 hits allowed, 4 earned runs, 5 strikeouts. He didn't walk anyone, which is the bright side, so he cut down on the walks. 94 pitches, but that 3rd inning just can't happen. And it started with the bottom of their lineup, the 8 and 9 hitters. That just can't happen at all. So I'm just disappointed in Wheeler right now because of how nasty he looked in the first 2 innings. Just completely fell off. Even though he did bounce back in battle and gave you another 2 innings, it relied on the bullpen. Especially, you had to use 4 bullpen guys in a doubleheader for 1 game. Like I said, the bullpen was solid. The bullpen came in and did their job. All 4 guys had 2 strikeouts each, and neither allowed a hit. Soto was dominant, 14 pitches, 2 strikeouts. Kimbrel actually had a clean inning, like I said, 2 strikeouts, 13 pitches. Sir Anthony Dominguez, this was his best outing so far this year, so hopefully he can just build off that. Only 8 pitches needed. And then, Jose Alvarado does his thing. Dominates, once again, 2 strikeouts and 10 pitches. I believe he records the save in his game, so that's his first save of the season. Looking at the lineup for Game 1, Bryson Stott, he did extend his hitting streak to 17 games in the first game of this doubleheader. He went 2 for 5 in there. Trey Turner did not have a good 2 games in this doubleheader. He went 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts in Game 1, and I believe he also went 0 for 8 in Game 2, like a lot of Phillies hitters did. Kyle Schwarber, he went 0 for 4 with a walk. Nick Castellanos had a good Game 1. He went 3 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs scored and a walk. Brandon Marsh, 1 for 5. He had a rough Game 1, 4 strikeouts. That led to 6 strikeouts in a row between that and Game 2. JT Realmuto had 2 hits, 2 for 5. Alec Boehm had 2 hits, 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Jake Cave went 1 for 4. And Josh Harrison, a huge game for him. Honestly, could you consider that a revenge game? Because he did play for the White Sox last year. So, could you say that? But Josh Harrison, definitely the last guy that I expected to have a huge game. He went 3 for 5 with 4 RBIs. He had a 2-run shot in this ball game and also a 2-run bloop single. So that was nice to see out of Josh Harrison. But Runners in scoring position in Game 1, you went 5 for 14. You left 11 runners on base, so you definitely had a lot more chances in this ball game. There were a ton of chances off land, bases loaded and everything like that. You know, even though, like I said, for the Sunday game in Cincinnati where you left all those guys on bases, I wasn't going to complain as much because you scored 14 runs. You really could have piled on the White Sox in this game with, the amount of base runners that you had in this. You left 11 runners on base. So I'm going to be more nitpicky with this one just because it was more of a close game, and that's granted because Zack Wheeler, blew the 5-run cushion. And, 5-0 lead, that should be easy cake for Zack Wheeler. And knowing this course of the Phillies year so far, it has not been. So that's annoying. Very, 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 very annoying. But just looking at, the course of Game 1 as well, just looking at how some of the runs were scored, Nick Castellanos with an RBI single, Bone with an RBI single, made it 3-0. Then you get Josh Harrison with a bloop RBI single. I was thinking to myself in that top of the third inning, you got guys on, bases loaded. I was thinking to myself, oh God, you got 8 and 9 hitters up, Jake Cave and Josh Harrison. Oh boy, this is definitely going to be a situation where you don't score. Then Cave struck out to make it 2 outs in the inning, but then Josh Harrison shut me up, even though he swung at the first pitch. He managed to put it in, the dead spot in the outfield for a bloop hit while breaking his bat. So, okay, he shut me up there. But then that third inning just happened. 8 and 9 hole hitters. Leadoff single, another bloop single. There were a lot of bloop singles in this inning by Zack Wheeler. It wasn't a ton of hard contact. It was a ton of soft contact, but it was very annoying. And like Wheeler, you got to get the job done. So single, single, single. So 3 singles in a row to get bases loaded with no outs. And then Luis Robert Jr. doubles on a bloop hit. It's 2-run score. And then Vaughn singles, scores another 2 runs, make it 5-4. Then another single, but then Wheeler got 3 outs in a row to end off the inning. Top 4, nothing happens. So basically nothing happens until the top of the 7th for the Phillies. It starts with 2 outs. Jake Cave actually got a lot of help from the umpire, and, go figure, CB Buckner was the home plate umpire in Game 1, and Cave should have struck out in that at-bat. Did not happen. It was, in the strike zone, yay high, and he called it a ball. And eventually that led to Jake Cave getting a single. And then that led eventually to Josh Harrison once again swinging at the first pitch, and he goes deep. So, CB Buckner helped the Phillies this time. 7-4 goal came after that hit, and then the bullpen basically did the rest of their job there. Now you go to Game 2. Like I said, Game 2 was just a huge dud. Huge dud. It was not good. It was not good at all. You actually did have a chance with runners in scoring position, and that was when Brandon Marsh got that leadoff double. Over 3 there, JT Realmuto, Alec Boehm, Josh Harrison. None of those guys were able to get a run home. Bailey Falter goes 7 innings in this ball game. 3 hits allowed, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, 98 pitches. Went 7 innings, allowed 3 runs. In the whole grand scheme of Bailey Falter, I can't complain on what he did. He kept you in the ball game. He battled. He looked a lot better after that first inning. It's your offense. Your offense just dropped a complete dud against Giolito. He went 6 innings, allowed 1 walk, 0 hits, 7 strikeouts on 102 pitches. Got to their bullpen, but just look at the lineup. Bryson Stott's hitting streak ends, 0 for 4. Trey Turner, just a terrible doubleheader for him, 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Kyle Schwarber, 0 for 2 with a walk. Nick Castellanos, 0 for 3. Brandon Marsh, 1 for 3. Alec Boehm, 0 for 3. Cody Clemens, I don't know why this guy keeps getting, chances, 0 for 2. Garrett Stubbs, 0 for 1. Eventually, these guys got pinched hit for. Christian Pache, don't know why he keeps getting chances. He went 0 for 2. And just basically a lot of 0 for, 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 0 for in the lineups. Only hit going to Brandon Marsh. You're not going to do much when you get 1 hit in the ballgame. So, there you go there. Struck out 12 times. So, yeah. Game 2 sucked. It really did. And now you have to try to win the series tomorrow. And I believe tomorrow is an afternoon game. I believe so, yes. 2:10 start. 2:10 start. You're going to have Taijuan Walker up against Mike Clevinger. And Mike Clevinger, you remember him in Game 4 of the NLCS against the Padres. The Phillies absolutely torched him. But sadly, we do not have Bryce Harper nor Rhys Hoskins in the lineup. So, the rest of the lineup is going to have to do their damage, hopefully. Clevenger in his appearances so far this year, he is 2-0 with a 2.20 ERA, 14 strikeouts. He had a game against the Houston Astros, 5 innings, no earned runs allowed. A game against the Pittsburgh Pirates, 5 1/3 innings, 4 earned runs allowed. And a game against the Baltimore Orioles, 0 earned runs allowed, 6 innings. 5 strikeouts, 1 strikeout, 8 strikeouts in each of those starts. Clevenger, when he's good, he's good. When he's bad, he's bad. So that's basically the description of Mike Clevenger. You knocked him around in the playoffs last year. Why not do it again? Got to win this series because you can't split in Cincinnati and then lose a series to the Chicago White Sox. Because that would be bad. That would be real bad. And that will not be a happy camper. I'd show more emotion, but I'm just so tired from watching these 2 games. That's my honest opinion. I've been watching these 2 games, and then I got multiple screens on, like, every single direction. I mean, I got the 2 TVs up there. I got this other monitor right here, this monitor in front of me. I got, Toronto, Tampa Bay Lightning getting blown out on one screen. Well, Toronto was getting blown out by Tampa Bay. Then I got the New York Rangers blowing out the Devils on another screen. And now I got the other 2 TVs. Now the Vegas game, the Vegas Winnipeg game is starting, and then eventually the Colorado-Seattle game is starting. I'm still watching the end of this Toronto-Tampa Bay game because it's still on. Tampa Bay's winning 7-3. I'm just waiting for this goddamn game to end. So much going on today with this goddamn doubleheader. Like I said, I hate doubleheaders during the week. It just it just ruins a lot. It does. It just does. That's all it is. I'm so tired from watching it. I'm tired of watching this team right now. It's not fun. It really isn't. Like, seriously, there were positives to take out of game 1, but then Zack Wheeler just ruined that entire thing. It is so hard watching this team right now, overall. It just is. And I really have nothing more to say. Dropping that dud in game 2 just wasn't pretty. I was saying to myself the entire game, yep, these guys are going to get no hit. It just feels like it because they just don't look like they want to be there. We did see Ranger Suarez and Bryce Harper go at each other in batting practice. By I mean go at each other like, Ranger Suarez were showing live, BP to Harper. They said Ranger looked good. Harper looked good. He was taking some, drills at first base. He had a huge brace on his right arm. So, who knows? With the way Harper's looking, could we be talking about May? He returns? Late May? That'd be nice. That'd be very nice if Bryce Harper can return in late May. They're also talking about Ranger Suarez, most likely the beginning of May as well. Used to be late April, now beginning of May. So, that would be nice to see. They said Nick Nelson is going on his rehab assignment. That would definitely be a bolster for the bullpen. Even though it sounds like I'm joking, but, Nick Nelson can be a guy that can eat some innings when your starters struggle. If your starter only goes 4 or 5 innings, Nick Nelson can eat at least 2, maybe 3 if he needs to. So, that would be a bolster for the bullpen. But, Taijuan Walker, it is your duty to help the Phillies win this series tomorrow afternoon. I'm expecting the lineup to be the exact same as it was in game 1. Maybe Edmundo Sosa gets back into the lineup. I know they're saying he's dealing with, some back issues. So we're going to have to wait and see on that. But for now, we move on. This unenjoyable start to the season. It really is unenjoyable. So, I see some of you guys in the chat here, so let's get on this before we end off. Stinks that Falter got no offensive help. Yeah, it sucks, but what are you going to do? Don't know how I feel about the balanced schedule. It's weird to see the Phillies play every other team. Can't complain about the schedule. You play the teams that are in front of you. Owen thinks we'll take the series tomorrow. I hope you're right there, Owen. I hate how my mind automatically goes to the bad before the good. We split the games. It's a shame Stott lost a streak, but it had to come to an end somewhere. Anyways, win tomorrow and go home happy. Also, Trey, hopefully he's okay. He's shown some signs of shoulder pain. Hopefully not, but yeah, he needs to get something going. A lot of people were shaking their shoulder today in the batter's box. It wasn't just Trey. I believe Marsh did that. I believe Bohm did that too. Not sure if it was just something that was going on there, or I have no idea. I actually have no idea. And like, I go to the Baseball Savant page from time to time just to look at like how some of the Phillies players are faring. Like so far, like if I look at Brandon Marsh's Baseball Savant, it's really good. Brandon Marsh is based on like a lot of things are in the red. Like the only thing that's not in the red is his strikeout rate. And by red, for Baseball Savant, like the red means it's good. The red on the scale means it's going great or good. If it's blue, that means it's bad. So a lot of things are in the red for Brandon Marsh. That bodes well for how his season's going to go. Alec Bohm. Let's look at his Baseball Savant. Alec Bohm, basically the same thing. A lot of his things are in the red. His hard hit percentage is in the red. His slugging's in the red. His strikeout percentage is in the red. Whiff in the red. Average exit velocity. It's not in the deep red, but it's still in the red, which is very solid. His out above average is in the blue, which means, he doesn't walk as much. Like his walk rate is like dead middle in the rating. But overall, Alec Bohm's Baseball Savant looks really good. Let's look at Bryson's stats. I know it's probably not going to be eye-popping for Stott because he gets a lot of soft contact. Yeah, a lot of Bryson Stott stuff is in the blue. His exit velocity, his barrel, his strikeouts, his walks. His width, though, is in the high red, like 97th percentile. So maybe does that mean that Bryson Stott eventually comes back down to earth? Or is he just an extreme contact hitter that just, is a pest at the plate? I don't think he's going to keep up what he did for the entire season. 17-game hitting streak. That's not going to happen all year. But maybe he comes back down to earth. But going to what I was going to bring up, Trey Turner. A lot of his stuff in Baseball Savant is in the blue. It's not a good start for Trey Turner, even though it shows that his average is in the 300s. But his exit velocity is way down. His hard hit percentage is way down. His barrel percentage is way down. Strikeouts and expected batting average are good. His slugging's way down. Whiff rate is down. Chase rate. So it's just, I do think with Trey Turner, he's way too good to be like this for this long. I think once he finally gets that home run, I think we'll finally see what Trey Turner's all about. Even though we know what Trey Turner is all about, he's one of the best players in baseball. Once he gets going, he'll get going. Let's see some other players before we end it off here. Let me look at Schwarber's. Look at Kyle Schwarber. Yeah, a lot of his stuff's in the red. Exit velocity, max exit velocity, hard hit, slugging, barrel, walk. Everything for him is in the red. So I think that bodes well for Schwarber moving forward. Let me look at Nick Castellanos. Compare his to last year. Ooh. A lot of Nick Castellanos is in the blue. A lot of it is in the blue. Ooh. Exit velocity, barrel. Ugh. The walk rate's really high, though. But a lot of Nick Castellanos is in the blue. Ooh. I was not expecting to see that. Not expecting to see that. I gotta save that. Snapshot there. Who else should I look up? Got Stott. I got Marsh. I got Bohm. Turner, Schwarber, Castellanos. Let me get GT. Oh, wait, I gotta spell it the way he spells it. J.T. If the page would like to not screw up on me, that'd be nice. J.T. Realmuto. Let's see where his percentile rankings are. If the page would like to load for me, that would be nice. He's kind of middle way through a lot of it. Exit velocity is good. Well, the max exit velocity is good. The average is not. Barrel percentage is actually really good for JT. Slugging is good. His walks are not good. His strikeouts not good. Chase rate, whiff, nah, not good. His framing's actually down. Pop time is still elite, but his framing is actually off this year. That's weird. But let me look at Wheeler's. Let me look at Zack Wheeler's baseball savant. A lot of Wheeler stuff's in the red. Average exit velocity is really good. Expected ERA is really good. Slugging's really good. Barrel's really good. Whiff's really good. Fastball velocity is solid. Fastball spin extension's good. His Ks could be better, but it's still in the red. Same thing with his expected batting average. His chase, though, the chase is the reason probably why he's not getting as good as he is. And his walks are down, too. But maybe that bodes well for Wheeler? I don't know. Let me look at Nola. Look at Nola. Oof. Yeah. Not good. Not good there. The trace rate did go up, but the whiff is not good. Walks are getting better. Hard hit percentage is solid, but the exit velocity is not. Expected ERA is okay. Barrel's not good. Slugging's not good. Strikeout percentage is way down for him. Expected batting average is way down for him. So he's really going to have to figure it out. But yeah. I definitely do recommend looking at Baseball Savant. Like, even if you're not an analytics guy, if you just look at the percentile rankings, if you just look at, what's red, what's, in between, and what's blue, I think you'll understand it a little bit more. But yeah. That's where we're going to end it off here. Yeah, 2 p.m. game is brutal. You could not ask for a better outing from the BP in the first game. Yeah, definitely. What else? We'll get them tomorrow. We're taking 2 out of 3 from the Sox to come back home. I do like the confidence that some of you guys are showing. Just watching this team is frustrating. And I don't know what I'm getting on a nightly basis right now. I've seen nothing that shows signs of consistency. With the starting pitching, with the offense right now, I just don't. So, that's where I'm going to end it for tonight, everybody. Thank you for joining as always. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. I like to see those. Do not forget to drop a like on the video. Do not forget to check out everything in the description. Same thing, hit the subscribe button as well. It does me a great deal of service. Also, use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Great deal. Don't pass it up. Use it for any Phillies games or any upcoming Sixers playoff games. Great deal. Don't pass it up. I'll see you guys next time.